folks, I'm Barbara.
And I'm Floyd.
And joining us today to tell us a little more about the so-called Japanese bombings is the expert herself, Natasha Emery. Welcome!
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So why don't you start by introducing yourself a little to the audience?
Well, I have been studying the bombings on America for the last couple of years, and these Japanese bombings have particularly fascinated us because the way that they went about bombing is just not very effective. So we've been studying that more, and it's very interesting.
Tell us a bit more what the Japanese were thinking when they tied bombs to balloons.
Well, when they were doing it, I think that they were thinking that all of them would land in America and go all the way across the America. But what actually happened is that a lot of the balloons landed much too soon, so almost all of them were lost. Only a small percentage, of the balloons actually landed in America. And so there was no damage done, hardly. The danger was very small. It was a little bit of a futile attempt to hurt our country, but it didn't work out very well.
So, do you know how much the Japanese put into this? How much money the Japanese put into this project?
Well, we aren't quite sure about the money yet, but we do know that they have women and children constantly working on sewing the balloons. It's a huge effort that they're making, and they made hundreds of balloons, and it was kind of a wasted effort. So
I think I can speak for everyone when I say the Japanese are not putting forth the amount of resources that is necessary to actually make an impact on whether or not they can win the war, whereas America is doing everything they can with the full support of everyone in the country to make sure that we win the war.
Yes, definitely. And we can see that especially as we are developing new technology, and a lot of that is classified right now, but there's a lot of new technology and new weapons that we have seen throughout the war that have been developed, and the Japanese are definitely a little bit behind.
That is not an understatement.
Yeah.
You mentioned flaws. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, yes, to talk about the flaws, I think that we would have to go kind of into the way that these bombs work. So basically what they're doing is the Japanese are making these balloons that fly up into the Pacific jet stream, which is making them fly over to the Americas, and they're just hoping that these bombs are going to land on the Americas, and that's just a very general overview. But because they don't have any specific way that they can land here, they don't know where they're going to land, they don't know they don't have any real target, which is making it so that they're not effective at all.
All right, can you tell us a little bit about, to contrast, what America is planning on doing regarding weapons in the war?
Well, a lot of that is classified, but right now we do have some serious technology that is being developed, and I can definitely say that it's more advanced than what the Japanese are coming up with right now.
What can you say to the civilians that might come across one of these Japanese bombs?
I would say just don't get close to it. They can be dangerous, but there's not really a chance that you would be coming across many of them because most of them are not getting over to America.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Stan.
Thanks, Barbara. As far as weather goes this week, it will be partly cloudy with the chance of Japanese war bombs. And now for a message from our sponsors.
Come support our boys overseas.
Buy U.S. war bonds. Today!
Feel the same way, Joan.
I have a correction that I would like to make. Earlier in the show, I said that.
It's okay, no need to get emotional.
Early in the show, I said that it was not an understatement. I clearly meant that it was an understatement. I apologize to any of the viewers that I have misguided and misinformed.
Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty.
Cut.
I would like to apologize to all of the viewers. I made a few mistakes in my interview, a few grammatical errors while I was speaking. I also made a mistake. Under all of the nerves, I said that there were hundreds of balloons launched. There were actually over 6,000 balloons launched, and only hundreds made it to America. I'm really embarrassed. I'm sorry.